What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing my movie review of Aquaman. I just saw this movie today. You might have seen my haul video. Well, I don't know when I'm going to be posting this. I don't know if I'm going to be posting this on Saturday or if I'm going to be posting this on Sunday. But anyway, I'm going to be reviewing Aquaman, and I thought this movie was really fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I am going to talk spoilers because this movie came out like 2 weeks ago, so it's been out for a while. But if I had seen this movie last year, it would easily have been like high on my list. I like it more than Bumblebee, and I really enjoyed Bumblebee, so that kind of shows you where this movie ranks. I think it's the best DC movie, DC Extended Universe movie so far. Um, and I really like this movie a lot. So I guess I'll just say before getting into spoilers, my main thoughts are: it's visually stunning, it's colorful, it's fun. It's some people might think of it as over the top and bad. I think it's totally intentionally over the top and goofy and silly, and that's what it's supposed to be. And this is what DC should follow. And with Shazam coming out in April, I think that's what they're going for. I really love the characters in this. Like a lot of the other characters in the DC Extended Universe films, except for I'd say Wonder Woman and Chris Pine's character Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman film. Even in Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, Wonder Woman didn't have much personality, but Zack Snyder wanted to copy The Dark Knight and make darker comic book films, and so far he thinks the way to do that is to make them sad and depressed, and that's really not how you do it. And they have no personality. Batman and Superman had no personality, and the characters in this film have so much personality and fun to them. Like, I love Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I liked him in Justice League, but he was kind of useless. In this, I liked him so much more. I really liked Amber Heard as Mara. I thought she was really good. I think the actors are at the top of their game, and they're just having a great time in this movie as a whole. So, yeah, it's visually stunning. It really pulls you into the world of Atlantis, and it's a fun adventure to go on. There's other locations and places they go. So, yeah, it's just a really fun adventure to go on, and, yeah, I really love Aquaman. So, that's my thoughts, as always, before I get into spoilers. So, so we're getting into spoilers now. If you haven't seen Aquaman, click off the video. So anyway, I guess I'll talk about my flaws, and there's very little flaws in this movie, for me at least. I think it's a very solid piece of entertainment. It's not the best movie, of course, but it's definitely quality entertainment overall. My main problem is, towards the end of the film, in the final act with the final battle, like, Orm's helmet looks awful, and the special effects were great up until that point, in my opinion, and then towards the end, they just started to get really crappy, and I didn't like them at all. So yeah, the special effects started to really go downhill towards the end of the film, which was kind of sad. And then the rest of the problems that I have that are just kind of nitpicks, like, something I didn't understand was Mara goes up to Aquaman at the beginning and explains to her what her full name is, like Princess something. I could not be able to tell you what her full name was, like, off the top of my head at all. But, she says her full name, and then she says, but you can call me Mara. And then later on, when we meet Orm for the first time, like, he calls her Mara. So, I don't know if, like, the other people in Atlantis had been calling her Mara, or, like, I thought that they would be calling her full name and not just Mara, like Aquaman is throughout the movie, or like Arthur is throughout the movie. So that's just a nitpick. I don't even think that's really a problem. It just might be something I didn't pick up on. And there's something else is in the first scene when you meet Orm and the other king, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, Mara's father. I noticed that Mara's father's hair is moving, and they fix it later in the movie because Orm's hair is moving later in the film. But in that one scene, he's like swimming around. It was just really noticeable to me is that I could not see his hair moving. Like, I maybe it was, and I just wasn't looking close enough, but I'm pretty sure his hair was not moving, and it was staying straight. And with the other king's hair, it was, like, floating, like, as if they're underwater. That's something I really liked about the movie as well. So that's pretty much it for my problems with the movie. Another thing that I really liked about the movie is the visuals while they're underwater. Is, like, sometimes you can see their clothes moving as if they're underwater. Their hair is always moving most of the time, except for that one scene, like I just mentioned. But just when they go into Atlantis, it reminded me a little bit of them entering Wakanda. And I know a lot of people have kind of picked up on the fact that this movie borrows some stuff from Black Panther. There's one scene in particular which I can't really remember, but it made me feel a little bit like Black Panther. But to me, it didn't really bother me. Like, it didn't really feel like Black Panther too much. But yeah, I really liked Black Manta as well. Like, in terms of the villains, I think these are probably the best that we've gotten so far in the DCEU. I think that Orm is an okay character. He's kind of underdeveloped, but I think he's on par with Zod. Like, Zod was kind of the over-the-top villain, and it's so over the top. Like, they're like, you will be the Ocean Master, and then they play like this epic music. It's like, boom! It's just hilarious. And another little thing is, it feels a little lazy because I'm pretty sure like they use the same villain theme for Black Manta and Orm, like the dun dun dun. Like I forgot what it is, but they used like the same theme for both of them, which I thought was kind of lazy. I don't know if it was the exact same, but it sounded very similar. Um, so that was a little lazy to me at least. But yeah, I really like Black Manta actually. I thought Orm was okay. Like I say, I think he's on par with Zod as a character. Like, Zod was kind of over the top, but he had motivation. And that's the thing. I think that's something that the DCEU villains have been lacking is like kind of a personality, and like I just said, a lot of the characters in the DCEU have been lacking personality. And in this film overall, like Jason Momoa, Amber Heard as Mara, they all have so much personality as these characters. Um, even the Queen Atlanta, played by what's her face? I can't remember her name. Um, man, what's her name? I can't remember. Nicole Kidman. That's her name. That's the actress's name. Yeah, they all had a lot of personality, and then Black Man, I think, had a lot of personality as a villain. And there's some parts where I couldn't help but laugh, like when Aquaman's riding on the Kraken. I believe that's what it is at the end, the Kraken. And he's like, oh! And then, like, at the beginning, he stabs Black Man's dad, and then he's like, oh! And then Black Manta, like, his son is like, oh! And they're all, like, screaming. It's like those over-the-top screaming. It's hilarious. Yeah, and then, like, I just thought, and then, like, it's just hilarious, like, when Black Manta attacks them, like, when they're, like, figuring out where they need to go to find the Trident, and then he's like, you can call me Black Manta. Just, I can't get that out of my head. I thought that moment was just so funny. But, yeah, this movie, there's some hilarious, I never really found any of the moments like Thor Ragnarok, where, like, I felt like it was laugh out loud funny, but, like, there's just so many little funny moments. Like, the moments I laughed at the most were, like, it got really over the top, and, yeah, it's just like, you will be the Ocean Master. I don't know, it was just kind of hilarious. And it keeps cutting back to these news reports, and this guy's like, this is from Atlantis, and they're like, oh, here we go again. Yeah, it's just kind of really funny. But yeah, I kind of like Black Manta as a character. I think that getting back to the villain side of things, the DCU villains have been really lacking, in my opinion, over the last while. Like you could say Lex Luthor had a motivation. He kind of does, but it's very unclear. Doomsday, I don't even count as a villain. He's just a monster that was brought to life by Lex Luthor. Zod was okay. Steppenwolf was awful. He's definitely the worst. And Enchantress is also pretty terrible as well. So yeah, the villains have been pretty terrible over the last DCU movies. Yeah, they've all been pretty bad. But I like Black Manta. I thought he had a lot of personality. I thought he had a motivation, which was he wanted revenge on Aquaman. And then that's something else about the film, which I wanted to bring up, is that you could have cut Black Manta's story, and this is what I would have done with Black Manta. What I would have done is he's not in the movie that much, like at one point he's like sitting on a ship, and then the Orm's guards show up, and man, in that ship when it was coming up through the water was like turning pink and blue, just so colorful, and it just DC needs more colors. Like it needs more of that. Like instead of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, where it's all gray and black, this movie's so colorful. Oh man, I loved it. But yeah, so it cuts to that, and then he's like, I just want Aquaman. And then later on, it cuts back, and they're bringing him, like, Atlantean technology so he can take on Aquaman. And I honestly, like, was kind of like, oh yeah, Black Man is in this. So what I would have done is I would have kept the whole intro to his character the same, and some superhero movies have done this, some movies have done this, where it starts off, you get into kind of an interaction with the villain, and then Incredibles 2 did this, actually. Spoilers for Incredibles 2 if you haven't seen it. Underminers at the beginning, he gets away, and then in the end credits, there's a little tease where it shows him getting away, and he's kind of still on the loose. So what I would have done is to kind of keep more of the film. Like, I think that this film could have easily had like 10 minutes cut out of it, because there's some moments where it feels kind of boring and dragged out. Like, it can feel a little long at some points, but they could have cut 10 minutes out of that. And how I would have done that is I would have kept the opening scene exactly the same. Aquaman's on the sub, or Blackman and his crew is attacking the sub. Aquaman shows up. He kills his father, or he doesn't help him save his father. Black Manta gets away, and then in the credit scene, instead of them having, like, finding him on a piece of rubble, all, like, injured and stuff, and then having him watch the news report about, like, all the crazy stuff that's going on, that are kind of hints at Atlantis being involved, of course, and there's one guy in the news that's like, I know it is Atlantis, and then all the other people are like, oh my god. But he's got, like, some guy, I guess one of the fishermen who rescued him, and he's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you, and then the helmet kind of blasts, and he's like, oh my goodness, this is Atlantean technology, where'd you get it? He's like, sure, but you need to tell me where Aquaman is. And then he throws, like, a dagger at a picture of Aquaman on the wall. So he's still after Aquaman. So that's what I would have done, is I would have had maybe, I know this seems kind of convenient, but maybe what they could have done is have, maybe say, like, with the battle at the end, there's all the junk floating in the water, that maybe some Atlantean technology washed ashore. Black Manta finds it, and in the credit scene, you find him back on shore, well, on land. He's at his house, and he has the helmet there next to him. And then I would keep all the rest the same. He throws the dagger at and yeah, keep the guy there, and he's like, I don't know if that guy was the fisherman who rescued him, but have some guy, like his roommate or something, some guy, and be like, where'd you get this? And he's like, I'll tell you, but you have to tell me where Aquaman is, and I need to find him. Or, sure, I'll tell you, but once, like, I have to kill Aquaman, right? So I would keep that the same. I would have him throw the knife at the picture of Aquaman on the wall, and I have the guy ask him about, where he got the technology. So I'd keep all that the same. Yeah, that's what I would do. So I'd have the opening scene the same, he gets away, and then in the post-credits, you find him, and he's still after Aquaman and out for revenge. Because the thing is, Black Manta's arc starts in this movie, and it doesn't really finish, so I feel like it's going to carry over into the next film. So that's just kind of my opinion on what I would have done to change Black Manta's story, and I think it would have improved the film. It would have made it less long and dragged out at some points. But anyway, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I believe I forget his name, the king of Atlantis, the old king of Atlantis, he was played by, the actor that did, Dwalin in The Hobbit. I believe I heard about that, so that's cool. It was really interesting to find out about. So yeah, this movie, I think that's really all I have to say. I know this is kind of a shorter review, but, I just really enjoyed Aquaman. I think it's a better movie than, like, all the other DCU movies. It's colorful, it's fun, the characters all have personality. I really like Mara's character. She's pretty fun. So yeah, I like the characters, and DC needs to follow this formula. And from what we've seen of Shazam, that one trailer, I think Shazam looks fantastic, and I think DC needs to continue down this road. Like, now that Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck have left, I don't know what they're going to do in that respect, but in terms of these, they've got Wonder Woman 2 coming out, which I'm looking forward to, because the first one's really good, and we got Shazam, and if they continue down this road of kind of the goofy, self-aware DC movies, I think that DC can be a successful company like Marvel. It will obviously take a while for them to get to the point where, like, they're as successful as Marvel is at this point. But I think Aquaman is a step in the right direction, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna give Aquaman an A. I have some nitpicks, like the people's hair aren't moving in some scenes, and I would have kind of changed Black Manta's whole arc in the film, or like his whole kind of part of the movie. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed Aquaman. I thought it's a thoroughly enjoyable movie. So overall, I'd recommend it. You should go see it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. A movie for me. Insanely good visuals. The CGI and visuals gets kind of towards the end, but great performances. All the actors are just having a great time, I can tell, in this movie. And yeah, I would have just changed Black Manta's story a little bit, and there's just some nitpicky issues, and some nitpicky issues that I don't even think are really plot holes. I think they're just things I didn't pick up on. But I definitely recommend you check out Aquaman for its visual flair. It's just a fun time overall. And yeah, I think it's better than Bumblebee, but not good as Spider-Verse. Not as good as Spider-Verse. I'm sorry. Spider-Verse is still my favorite movie of 2018. You can't change my mind. But yeah, if I had seen this movie last year, because it's now 2019, it would have been on that list, and it would have been pretty high on my 2018 list. But yeah, you guys let me know what you thought of Aquaman if you've seen it, what you thought of my review in the comments as well. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.